All right, let's talk about something really primal, survival. I mean, what really happens when you're pushed to the absolute breaking limit? We're about to find out.
You know that feeling when you beat the odds? It's pretty great, right? But this quote, it hits different. It says there's nothing as exhilarating as surviving when you really shouldn't have. It's about that raw, unbelievable feeling of cheating death.
So we're going to dive into 3 stories that are just mind-blowing. They really push the limits of human endurance. And trust me, this isn't just about getting lucky. These are lessons in what it truly means to stay alive.
Okay, for our first story, let's head out to the huge open waters of the South Pacific. Picture this, Tami Oldham Ashcraft, she's 23, a sailor, and she's living the dream. But you know how it is with the ocean. It's beautiful, but it can be absolutely brutal. And her dream, it was about to turn into a total nightmare.
And then, bam! Out of nowhere, she's caught in this unbelievably violent hurricane. We're talking monstrous 50-foot waves just tossing her boat around like it's a bath toy. She scrambles to get below deck, and that's when the unthinkable happens. The storm just completely flips the boat over.
That impact, it knocked her out cold. And she stayed that way for 27 hours. Think about that. That's more than a full day, just gone. Unconscious, alone, in the middle of a storm-thrashed ocean. When she finally comes to, everything has changed. She's waking up to a complete disaster.
So the storm is gone, but what's left is just devastating. The sails are shredded. The motor, dead. The radio, totally useless. So she's basically a ghost out there. No way to call for help, but, and this is a huge but, one thing survived: the rudder. It wasn't much, but it was something. It was her one tiny sliver of hope.
I mean, her situation was just hopeless. Alone, injured, thousands of miles from anywhere. And yet for 41 straight days, that's over a month, she used the stars and the currents to navigate. Her target? Hawaii. And she made it. She was exhausted, rail-thin, but she was alive.
All right, so from the vast, empty ocean, we're heading to the exact opposite, the frozen, isolating mountains. And here, we meet Eric Lamarque. This guy was an Olympian, a hockey player for the French national team. So, an elite athlete, right? Someone who knows how to push his body to the edge. But what was coming? Yeah, nothing could have prepared him for it.
It all started with something so simple. Just a wrong turn while he was snowboarding. But that one mistake spiraled into a full-on fight for his life. Suddenly, he's completely, hopelessly lost. No supplies, no shelter, and absolutely no way of calling for help. It was just Eric versus the wild.
So he's not just fighting the cold, he's fighting his own mind. At one point, he starts hallucinating that he's inside a video game. Can you imagine? But here's the incredible part. Even while his mind is playing tricks on him, his survival instinct kicks in. He pulls out a little pocket radio and starts using it like a compass, walking in the direction where the signal got stronger. So clever.
Finally, after 8 long days, a helicopter spots him. He's rescued. But his survival came with a huge price. He lost both of his legs to frostbite. And you'd think that would be the end of his snowboarding days, right? Nope. In a move that's just mind-bogglingly resilient, he was already planning to get back on the board.
Okay, our last story. This one is maybe the weirdest, the most baffling of them all. It seriously makes you question what the human body is even capable of. Let's get into the medical mystery of Mitsutaka Uchikoshi.
It started so simply, but the consequences should have been deadly. He just wanders away from his group, takes a fall, and breaks his pelvis. So he's stuck, can't move, no food, no water, and it's freezing cold. By all accounts, that should have been it. Game over. But it wasn't. Something else happened. Something bizarre.
Get this. Rescuers find him 24 days later, and he's alive. The doctors were completely stunned. Their best guess? His body somehow put itself into a state like hibernation or suspended animation, like a bear in winter. It's a state where your body just slows everything way, way down to survive, something we didn't really think humans could do.
When they found him, his vital signs were barely there. I mean, the rescuers couldn't even find a pulse. His body temperature was dangerously low, his heart rate had slowed to a crawl. It's like his body just flipped a switch and went into this ultra-low power mode to stay alive. It's a case that scientists are still scratching their heads over.
Okay, so let's recap.
We've got a sailor who navigated a wrecked boat across an ocean, a snowboarder who used a radio as a compass while he was hallucinating, and a guy who basically hibernated like a bear. These stories are insane. So what's the takeaway here? What can we learn from all this?
It all comes down to one big question, right? What does it actually take to survive? Is it just being lucky? Or is there something else going on here? Some common thread that connects all these incredible people?
What we're seeing is this amazing mix of psychology and just biology. You have Tommy's sheer will to just not give up, Eric's cleverness, using what he had, and Mitsutaka's body doing something straight out of science fiction. But deep down, at the core of every story, is this stubborn, relentless refusal to die.
Now look, these are obviously some pretty extreme situations. But the lessons here, they apply to everyday crises too. The ability to keep your cool, to think clearly when things go wrong, and to be creative. That's what makes the difference. Whether you're stuck in an elevator or dealing with something more serious, that survivor's mindset is absolutely key.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. These people survived against absolutely impossible odds. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of strength is buried deep inside all of us, just waiting for a moment we all hope never, ever arrives? Could you survive?